Hello everyone, and welcome to Do Yoga with Phoenix. This channel we're trying to bring as much happiness as we can to people's lives. If you're in pain, then look, it's kind of difficult to be happy, right? And I don't just mean pain in the physical, right? I mean pain in the mental. Like, you guys will get to know me in this channel and you'll know that I've been in all sorts of trouble in my life, right, as far as that sort of addictions and those kinds of things. Burned badly, right, so I know the physical pain, and I know, right, I know the spiritual pain, and I know the emotional pain, right, so that's what I do, that's just why I do what I do, right, this is what I'm doing here, is I'm wanting to bring relief to people and help them out of spaces that, they may have found themselves in. And, that's why I had to do that, man. That's why I had to go through that stuff. I had to go through that stuff, right, to enable me to be where I am now. And so I love it that you're here with me, and if I can help in just a little way, right, then that's my life. So we're gonna do a class today, right? That's a Yin class, right? I'm looking to try and make short Yin classes. It's kind of hard because it's a long practice, but we're gonna do some a short class for the hips, right? And the hips are obviously an area of major concern in the body nowadays, with the way that we sit down all the time, looking at screens, looking at TV screens, looking at over steering wheels. It tightens up the psoas muscle. It's not good for the hamstrings, right? We get lack of movement in the hip joint, right? The pelvis gets all out of shape, and it's like, oh, my back. Oh, shit. Oh, dear. Right, and then we get a hip replacement. I hear they're not too bad, but I really don't fancy one, quite honestly. Right, so this is going to address that, and we're going to keep the hip nice and healthy. It's the major hinge in the body. And as they say, if the door is beautiful but the hinges are shut, then there's not much point in having a beautiful door. Right, so so we're gonna do some work into the hip area. Right, as if you've watched my channel before or been to one of my classes before, you'll know that I start and finish my classes with a 3-arm mantra. So we're gonna do that. Right, so we're bringing our hands into Namaskar. Right, we're going to take a nice big deep breath in. Lovely. Right, so just you can feel the energy in your body, right, and enjoy that. We're going to start the class with, it's called Malasana in Yang Yoga, and we don't tend to use the Sanskrit words in Yin Yoga because people have got a predetermined, if they've done a Yang class, or I know Malasana, right, that's how they go, and this is how it's supposed to look. Well, in Yin Yoga, it doesn't matter what you look like. It's about the functionality, right? We understand that you're not better than somebody, you're different to somebody, right? And so that's the way it is, right? And so we want to get you and find you a shape that works your body, not mine or your neighbor's, right? But what works for you, right? And so, Malasana, right, we call it in Yin Yoga wall squat. And often, you'll go classes and they're not on the wall, right? They're away from the wall, and that's kind of Yangish. Right, so in my classes, when we do this in the Yin style, we use a wall. So you're going to come up against the wall, right, find a wall somewhere, I've got one here, right, and then all you're going to do, right, is you're going to come into Malasana, right, like this. Now, you might be able to find this posture easily, right, and it's simple for you, right, and you don't need anything under your butt, right, and if you're one of them, well, great, lucky you. right? But if you're not, you can build yourself up, right? So you can get bolsters or blocks or whatever it is, right? Find your edge, right? So once you've found that, then it's just a question of letting the butt fall down. Now in Yin Yoga, right, the premise, right, or the three elements of Yin Yoga is first is that we come into a posture that suits our body. Not our neighbours, like I said, right? They don't have to look like them. Right, then we're going to hold that posture, then we're going to make a resolution, right, to hold the pose for a period of time, right, and it's a longer period of time. That's the third point, the period of time, right. So right now I'm just finding something that works for me. I'm not too bad in this one, right, so generally I don't need a block and a bolster, but just for demonstration purposes I'm using a bolster here. I can have my feet wherever I like. Leaning up against the wall, right, opening up the knees, the ankles and the hips, right, and that's the area we want to drop through the spine, open up the hip, open up the knee, right. Once you've found what works for you, right, then just allow your butt to sink down, right, and the caveats, right, as far as staying still in the posture is that if you find that the body's giving you a little bit more, then you can come deeper into the posture, come back to stillness. Also, if you find like, oh my goodness, I've got a sharp pain in my knee, right, something's not right in there, come out, man. Come out, guys, do not stay in if there's that sort of sharp pain. You don't want to work, it's not going to make it better, make it worse. But if you're feeling a kind of sensation, and I'm starting now, right, that's good, that's what we want, right, so allow that to happen. All right, come to stillness now. So I can get rid of the bolster, allow the body to slip down a little bit more now. Now I feel I've come a little bit too far and it's not comfortable. I'm going to come back up onto the block, there, better. Come back to stillness. Don't be, look, if you don't have a bolster or blocks or these kind of things, go buy some. Right, or if you got no cash, and you know what that's like, then use hold up blanket, a pillow, or a book, or just wrap some tape around it. Quite strong. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to open up our knees as much as they can be opened, right? So they're not going to open any further. And if you're finding that sore on your knees, come to the side of your mat. Come like, right? So this way around on your mat, right? So I'll kind of diagonal, so you can get an idea of posture, right? So we want to take the knees out and as wide as they'll go, and they want the feet out further than the knees. Now, if there's any kind of pain right into the ankles, then you can bring your feet a little bit closer together. We want to try and open up the ankles. Now, you can use a bolster now and come down like this, and just allowing that to sink. Right, this is really quite comfy. If you don't like that, then don't use it. Come down onto your belly, drop that. And stay here. I kind of like the bolster, so I'm going to come up onto a bolster. So you won't get the same through the lower back right, with the bolster as you would do without the lower back, because the belly's not going to drop out. But as I say, this pose is really about the inner thigh, the groin, and swinging the hip joint right to its outer edge. And moving the socket, right, the ball right to the edge of the socket, right, and stretching the fascia and the tendons in the hip joint, getting some really beautiful grungy movements into the hip. So we've been about halfway now. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just move your head to the other side. Let that open up. That's amazing. Good. So some of these postures that we're going to take in this class today, kind of quite challenging, some of them. So bear with me. Like I say, Yin Yoga is simple, but it's not easy. Stay still in the mind, and that's pretty hard for most of us. Well, my wife took this up. She was a triathlete, and she hated it. She hated it. Like, she's like, "Oh my God, this is so bad. Right, when are we gonna move? Right, I need to do some vinyasa quickly. I need to do a sun salutation fast. Can't deal with this, doing this." But now she's one of my biggest fans, so things change. Good, excellent. Coming up out of that, feeling that there now, right? And we're just going to take a rebound after that one. That strong posture. Coming down onto our bellies. If you want to go into child, that's fine, whatever, right? If you want to take a rebound in child, that's cool. Or Shavasana if you want, but I'm liking this, so I'm taking this. And now I'm taking my mind into my body, right? I'm really feeling that movement that I've created, that energy that I've created in the hip. Wow. Start to dissipate now. Shavasana, right? And next is we're going to do the outer hip, right? So we're going to come into a posture called fire log. Now, a lot of people, it depends on whether they're internally and externally rotated in the hip, right? And we have a predisposition for one or the other, right? And so don't feel like if you're like this and you're on a bolster and your legs are up here like this. That's okay. Some people just feel easy to drop down. It depends on how their hips are shaped. Anyway, if you are one of these people that's up here, like to sit on something, sit something on a bolster or something like that, right? And then don't worry about fire log. Just come into this like this, right? So Sukhasana. And then if you want some more, you can just come across it a little bit, feel it down. I'm not so bad, right? I can get fire log as this, right? So in other words, I've got my right leg up and in the crease of my left, more or less, and the shins are more or less parallel with the side of my mat. Right, so that's the posture, right? That's the beginning of the posture, and there may be enough for you, and if it is, that's fine, stay here. Right, if you want some more into this pose, right, and you want to feel that grungy feeling in the side of the hip, right, what you want to do is just come down into it like this. Right, then you can just let the head drop, and look, I've met people get their chest on the ground from here, right? Hey, wow, that's, are they better than me because they can get their chest on the ground? Well, no. Right, as you can see, I'm moving, I'm allowing myself, I'm giving myself that permission to move deeper into the posture as my hips let go. I want you to do the same. You don't have to, there's no, if you're at your edge, that's fine. Don't need to push the edge in Yin Yoga. We're not doing Ashtanga Vinyasa, right? We're not. And that's a brilliant posture, a brilliant sequence, by the way, right? So I studied that too, but, and it's amazing, right? But, it's not this, that's for sure. One side's different to the other. We are different from one side to the other. Not only we're just different from each other, we're different from ourselves. So nobody is symmetrical. Everybody is asymmetrical in this world. Right, so don't be surprised if the posture a little bit different from one side to the other. Right, so find your posture. Right, and as I say, this might be it for you, or you might even be cross-legged. Right, so you can take the foot more up into here if you're really flexy, right, or even a full lotus, but this is a half lotus posture, right? This is fire log, so it's up to you, but this is generally enough for most people. Right, then just coming down over the leg, right, and allowing the posture to develop. Let gravity do the posture. You don't need to force anything in your yoga. It's just a question of allowing the posture to come to you. Let the posture come to you. Don't force the issue. Breathe in here. we're opening up the source, the hip flexors on the left hand side and lunging, right? So that's the main functionality of it, right? So we want to open up that area, and this posture will do that for you, right? So if you want to take a little bit more now, right? We feel, yeah, okay, well, you know, I can go a little bit deeper than that, right? That's fine. Then just bring your hands down like this, and now we're starting to work into the move. You can move the right leg out a little bit now. And here you can let it fall open. Now you're starting to get some movement into the hip. Right, so for me, this is probably a better posture for a hip opener than the high posture, or the high dragon. Right, so we're going to come into low dragon. You come to wherever you want. Now you can use a bolster or a lock. Right, take your elbow onto one side, let drop out, let your head drop down, or you can bring both elbows down, right, and just stay here. Letting the right knee fall open, right? Taking the left knee back as far as it will go. This is a pretty, this is a challenging posture. Stay with it. Just allow the breath to move in. Focus, use your breath to develop. Hold with the breath. Come down in it and it's all working well, that's good. Maybe you can come down a little bit further, take the block away. I don't need any more. But you might be different, you might need to come down a little bit further, that's fine. You not might be different, you will be different. Just holding here in this low dragon. Sometimes it's referred to as a wing dragon as well, right? So it could be a wing dragon as well, because of the winging of the knee. Pelvis drop down. Good. Nice. Gently sliding like that posture. We're going to take that leg around and we're going to take a rebound. Right, so come down onto the hands and rebound. I heard one class I did, the teacher referred to this as the echo posture. Like that. It's maybe not totally correct, but it was poetic, I liked it, right? So I liked it, the intent behind it and the poetry. Oh wow, just let the feeling dissipate. Better not fall asleep, eh? Alright, so we're going to come up into our other side. So coming up into the tabletop first, right, getting our mind set ready for this, right, coming up, right, and if you took, right, a high lunge the last time and this was adequate for you, then just obviously do the same posture as you did. So you might have done what I did, right, we took a few seconds or, half a minute or so, feeling for this and saying, yeah, pretty good with this. I think I'm coming to the dragon, right, so low dragon here, right, and then I've come into the wing dragon, I've let my left knee fall open. I like to use a bolster and a block in this one. For me, it's just a little bit low, right, on the floor for me. It's just a bit too much, right, and then just let the head drop down. That's it. Okay. Make a resolution to stay still in this posture 2 minutes. I know there's a little bit of debate there with whether the minimum time for a yin pose, and some will say 2 minutes, and some will say 3, and I think Sarah Power says 2, and Bernie Clark says 3, and it might be the other way around. Don't quote me on that. Those two guys are the powerhouses in this movement, and And so, between 2 to 3 minutes, right, to get the facilitation into the fascia. So some of the postures, this kind of pose, you hold it for 4 or 5 minutes, it really starts to, you can, but it's getting pretty hard. So I'm just going to hold this for a couple of minutes to get the benefit out of it. And I'm using my breath to breathe into the posture. Remembering that yoga is a union, that's what it means, yoke, union. Yoking the breath, the body, the breath with the body, mind and spirit. So our bridge to everything is the breath. Just let the head drop down. Allowing the psoas muscle here to open up the hip flexors. There's 3 main ones, the iliacus, the rectus femoris and the psoas, and they're also all muscles are surrounded by fascia. We're going to switch the muscle off so that we can open up through the fascia. Good. And then just gently coming out of that pose there, right, taking the leg around, right, taking the block away, coming down into Shavasana, well, it's not really Shavasana, this is called crocodile pose, right, in Yin Yoga. Come down to crocodile pose, relax. Stretch through the whole posterior chain. Right, so what's the posterior chain? Well, it's the muscles that run up the posterior of the body. And so those are the muscle groups that we want to, and when I talk muscle, right, in Yin Yoga, it's because I can't say just fascia, right, because the fascia is everywhere throughout the whole body, surrounding all the muscles. Right, so when I say, I'm referring to muscle, but I'm really referring to the fascia that surrounds the muscle. Because that's the area that we want to work, right? So, for me, I'm okay with this, right? I'm reasonable into the hamstring, so I don't really need the block, right? So you might, right? So then come down here, and then you don't need to pull down, but you can just let the head fall. But do what you like with the hands. Let the head drop down. Now this is a really good back opener as well. We're not really working into that area, but if you do have stiffness in the back, this is going to help a great deal with that. And allowing the head to fall down, opening up the neck. So as you can see, right, I'm getting an energy line, and we'll talk about meridian lines, right, in future classes, but not right now. Right, so there's energy. The body flows with energy. Right, in traditional Chinese medicine, they're called meridian lines. Right, and there's modern theories behind it as well. Thomas Myers, who wrote Anatomy Trains, talks about energy lines, very similar to meridians. But anyway, we just want to allow the whole energy system to stretch out, and the fascia that surrounds all the muscles just to stretch as we let the head go as well. at all when you're doing these classes, you think, oh, I'm really getting a lot out of that, and I've only done it for 2 minutes or whatever. Just pause the video, and do it for 5, do it for 6. The maximum time that we can hold and still get benefit out of a yin pose is 20 minutes. Wow, right, it'll be a pretty short class, right? We're doing one posture today, guys. Right, but yeah, 20 minutes. Then after that, they reckon there's the law of diminishing returns kicking, right? And it's not a lot of point in holding it after 20 minutes. Look, to be honest with you, never done it. Don't know, right? Don't know, right? I haven't experienced 20-minute holds. I have no real desire to. It would mean my in class would go on for about 4 hours. So I don't, nah. Right, so maybe one day just for the experience I'll do it, but I haven't as yet. So somewhere between 2 and 20 minutes is the minimum maximum hold time. In my classes, it's anywhere between 2 to 5 generally. Lovely. Just gently coming out of that, right, and then sliding ourselves forward, coming back, nice and easy. Head falls back, arms fall open, feet fall out, right, palms are facing upward. Just get the back of the head onto the mat so there's a little bit of stretch to the cervical section of the spine. Look, if you find that it's uncomfortable for you, Shavasana, there is nothing wrong with getting a bolster. Like some people, I have to do it without the way that my teacher says. Well, it's Yin Yoga, so you've got permission to do what you like. Right, so if you want to do, right, have a bolster under your knees like that, then be my guest. Rolled up blanket, whatever. Or if you want to put the blanket over you, that's fine. But we're not going to do Shavasana for very long. Often in my classes, I'll do a Yoga Nidra meditation after a yin class. It's amazing. I put one on the channel, so you might want to check it out and do that. Right, so you don't have to do it. You can do it standalone meditation. It's amazing. Check it out. But it does last for about 20 minutes. So you set yourself half an hour to do it. I mean, the technique is only what I normally speak to. But it's the technique is not just so much fun. So there's so many different postures that we can do, right, for the hip. But those are some, they're fairly challenging those. It's a short class. I've picked some fairly challenging ones in the class. Enjoy, you can do it anytime you like. It's a beautiful thing to do and it will really help you in your life. Bring your hands into Namaskar, we'll seal the practice. Taking a nice big deep breath in. Keep the prayer with the heart center. May we have love in our hearts. Bring the prayer to the lips. May we have truth in our speech. Bring the prayer to the forehead. May we have gratitude in the mind. Bring the prayer back down to the heart center and bow the head. Namaste. Thank you for practicing Yin Yoga, right, for the hips with the Phoenix. Right, so if you liked it, right, please subscribe for loads more stuff coming up once I get a handle on this YouTube stuff, okay? Thanks very much. Namaste, guys. Bye-bye.